Pardon how I sound and look. I am recovering from a cold and a cough, but I put on earrings and lip gloss, A for effort. Today, I want to talk about how two of my former friends, Hannah and Harry, aided and abetted a serial rapist that I'm calling Alfred. I have no issues calling Alfred by his real name. It's just that I already outed him after he assaulted me many years ago. And I think in 2016 or 2017, the Me Too movement finally reached Nigeria, and a group of young girls called him out as well for assaulting them and other girls that they knew. He came up on everybody's list. So people know who exactly I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into the details of what he did to me because it was simply horrifying, but I want to talk about what happened after. Maybe a day or two after Alfred assaulted me, I went on social media on Twitter and I called him out and I said, Alfred did this terrible thing to me. I went to his house to hang out with him and he assaulted me, and two of his female family members were downstairs in the living room when he did it in his bedroom. At this point, I believe Alfred had a couple of victims before me, but none of them had ever publicly called him out. So Alfred does what guys like this do. He ends up recruiting his friends, a mix of guys and girls, but primarily boys, and he gets them to come on Twitter and call me a liar and accuse me of feeling rejected because I liked him more than he liked me and he didn't want me. I don't back down because I know that that's not the truth, and I know that we had been chatting, yes, but this was not a case of he rejected me and now I'm accusing him of graping me. I'm accusing him of graping me because he graped me. Now let's bring in Hannah and Harry. I'm friends with Hannah and Harry, but Hannah and Harry have been friends longer than I have been friends with either of them. So they come to me to ask me what happened, and I tell them the honest truth, exactly what went down. And they seem to feel bad for me and to be on my side. I was wrong. Why? Because Hannah and Harry both hacked into my Twitter account and found DMs between me and Alfred. And in those DMs, Alfred and I are chatting, yes, because like I said, we liked each other and we were conversing and exchanging DMs, which is completely normal. But that's not all they find. After Alfred raped me, he sent me a DM checking up on me to make sure I was good. And I responded saying, thank you, I'm okay. Now, this may not be common knowledge for a lot of people, but after somebody suffers a traumatic event, how they respond right after is not logical because they are still processing what they went through. And Alfred, after he raped me, and this was what he did with all the girls that he raped, he cleaned me up, right? And the whole point of that was to mess with my mind and make it more difficult for me to name what he did to me. But Hannah and Harry decided that because I responded to Alfred's DM of him checking in on me, that I lied about the rape. And so they took screenshots of the DMs and they passed it around, and then eventually it was posted on Twitter. So Hannah and Harry then joined Alfred and his friends to accuse me of being a liar, and there's a full-on smear campaign on Twitter. They call me names, they call me a liar, they call me a hoe, a slut, that the guy didn't want me as much as I wanted him, and I accused him of raping me, that look at the DMs, it clearly shows that, she liked him, and she went over to his house, and maybe she did something that she regrets, and that's why she's accusing him of raping her. And just like that, I was bullied. I lost a lot of friends as a result of what Hannah and Harry did. And Alfred ends up being free to do whatever he wants. And guess what happened? Right after the situation happened, maybe a year later, Alfred ends up raping another girl, and then another girl, and then multiple girls after that. And yes, it's directly correlated to what Hannah and Harry did, because in leaking those DMs and calling me a liar, they aided and abetted Alfred and his rapist ways. I mean, to grape more than 10 girls, if a guy unalived more than 10 women, they would call him a serial killer. In that same way, if a guy grapes more than 10 girls and he does the exact same thing with them every single time, he is a serial rapist. After those group of girls end up calling Alfred out, I get a DM from one of his former friends, and she tells me that she's sorry But that when I accused Alfred of raping me, he told her that she should go on Twitter and call me a liar. So Alfred actually recruited girls to go on Twitter and call me a liar. She was only 14 when it happened. Yes, he recruited young girls. Of course, when you're 14, your frontal lobe has not even started developing. So he knew what he was doing. So he recruited young girls and his boys to call me a liar. I mean, I couldn't be mad at her because she was a child. What am I going to do? Like, tell her she's a bad person? She didn't know what the heck she was doing. I also get a text from Harry saying that he's sorry about what happened. He doesn't apologize for hacking into my account. He doesn't apologize for acting like a lackey and being Hannah's little helper. He apologizes for what happened to me. Honestly, I said I accepted the apology, but now, the grudge is back on because the actions of these two people help this guy hurt more women. Like, I hope that they feel bad. Both of them are married now, and Hannah has a daughter. And I know Harry, I know he's gonna have kids. I really hope that they feel bad about what they did. Because if they had not done what they did, more of his victims would have come out. I spoke to 3 of his victims, and we had the exact same experiences, right down to Alfred cleaning us up after the act. Do you know how sick that is? One of the girls even wanted to come forward after I did, but she said after she saw how I was treated and how I was abused and insulted online, she got scared and she backed off. So Hannah and Harry contributed to that. Thankfully, I'm over what happened in terms of the assault, but I will never forget, because who will ever forget being assaulted? No woman will ever forget that. But as for Hannah and Harry, I wish them the life that they deserve. And I'm so glad that Hannah has kids because karma, it's a very real thing.